was when I had an aha moment. My husband had always had it, but for me, that was when, and I saw the difference so much in the way curriculum was being designed in Nigeria. This is so vivid. For me to do my postgraduate diploma in education training, I had to do an internship. Well, I was supervising a school, so I did my internship in the school, and I used Nigerian textbooks. Now, I was to do 6 months. I think I did 3 months in the school, and I did 3 months in an American school. Now, going back a bit to my background in University of Lagos, what I obtained from the University of Lagos was a bachelor's in science. A bachelor's in science for electrical engineering, and I made a first class. I even came into University of Lagos with the highest score in JAM. I didn't realize, it was later I was told, with 100 in maths. And I made 347 over 400. And so I thought I knew how to read. I hope you understand me. I thought I knew how to handle this. But in my third year, I found myself struggling to get into a first class. And it was about that time that I had an encounter with the Lord, and I didn't come from even though I was a Christian, I didn't come from a Christian background. I didn't come from a background that went to church and all that. And I became quite sober, and I started to study the Bible more, and I saw that the Bible had a lot to say about education. And as I applied the principles there, I've not gone through a postgraduate diploma in education training. Those principles changed me. It changed my way of reading. And one of them, when I saw, was that and I do apologize for those who are not Christians here. Please, I'm not trying to make you a Christian, but this is who I am. And you'll get to know as I put it all together. But that was what happened to me. And one of the things that I saw there, and it became so strong, is that the Nigerian system emphasized cramming, memorization, while the Bible emphasizes meditation, where you read to understand. So I started to read to understand rather than cramming. Even for me to make a first class, I had to go back to my Form 5 physics, because I never really had a grasp of it. Once I got the grasp of it, it's like when you're building a foundation, if it's not strong, once you try to build on it, you would have problem. I made a GPA of 4.79. The highest is 5 in my final year, and I made a first class. Then, I became a minister. And because, like I said, of my husband's passion in education, I later got into education. And so when I went to, fast forward, when I went to an American school in Abuja, and I was teaching them maths, and I took a hold of their textbook. It was too funny. Now, I want you to think about it, because I'm throwing the question to you. Imagine someone who made a first class, got 100 in maths. And even though I had the information there, as I was reading the textbook, I got to a place where I was teaching them fractions. And I just saw something on the side of the textbook, and where they said, do you know where fractions is being used in real life? And I looked and I said, I never thought of that. I taught it, but I never thought of it. And he said, it's the principle of fractions is being used in developing pictures. Does that not make sense? When you take a photograph, it's a small size. And when you print it on photographic paper, it expands. I was like, what? How many years? You're talking about, I did 2008. I was born in 1968. So we're talking about 40. I was 40 then. 40 years. And I'm just realizing that, the principle of fractions is used for photography I was like, what? Why doesn't Nigerian textbooks have this? Anyway, fast forward. I went through the State University of New York program alongside my husband, and it was just further enshrined. Even I got to realize that curriculum played such a critical role in changing the mindset of people. And I had to ask myself, how many Nigerian school owners really are concerned about the curriculum? And they have a wonderful website, but no mention about the curriculum they're using. And so I realized that even school owners in Nigeria, they just did it without understanding. I remember talking to someone here in the UK, and he said at the end of the day, he was the one teaching his teachers. He had to go on YouTube to learn because what the teachers were teaching him, anyway. So my husband and I became so passionate, and right now we're working on a curriculum that is focused on using the national curriculum in Nigeria as our base, but ensuring that it's being taught with certain skills that I'm going to talk about briefly in 2 slides from here. So anyway, I now come to University of Warwick, and I did a master's in educational leadership and management. I have to tell you, I spent half of the time crying. I have to tell you, everybody knows my story. I'll be like, what is going on in Nigeria? Why are we, I was just like, I thought we were following the British curriculum. I thought we were following the British pattern. But when you come to the UK, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. When you come to the UK, you see, first of all, that the government has spent so much money investing. Then I find out that UNESCO had advised that governments should spend at least 15 to 25% of their budget on education. And Nigeria at that time in 2018 was just spending 5%. And here in the UK, the curriculum has been designed in such a way. I want to help us to understand something that is called Bloom's taxonomy. I'm going to be going there, and that's actually where I'm going to focus on. I just want to round up within the next 3 minutes. I'm telling you, it's been a humbling experience. My practical experience in education for over how many years? I'm a vice president of an institute, a Christian curriculum, where we use a Christian curriculum. I've been involved in mentoring primary, secondary, and tertiary students, lifelong learning, entrepreneurial education, leadership, women empowerment. I'm currently the executive director of the Covenant Academy Group of Schools, where as the wisdom has increased in my life, we are blending the curriculum. First, we started with an American Christian curriculum. Now we're utilizing the Nigerian and the British. We're blending it together. We have a school of life and marriage. I've done internships. And from 2020 till date, I've now started actively being involved in helping teachers in Nigeria to make global impact. I want to point out, like I said earlier, that my husband had a deep desire to reform Nigeria, and that's how I got into this. His dad was actually the first Nigerian to own a school after the missionary. And he passed that love to me. And my husband has always understood the effect of education. He's always been trying to tell me, but it took me a while to learn that. And it was while I was working on a documentary with him, in the midst of all this, that my mindset changed. And I started to reflect on education in Nigeria. And this picture, I don't know if you can see this picture because it doesn't seem to be, the slides don't need to be changed, but maybe it's my phone. But I'll make the slides available because I really want you to see the Bloom's taxonomy. Can we see the slides? Okay, you're seeing the slides. All right.